ADD and ADHD are very commonly diagnosed disorders in today's world. They're characterized by distractability, impulsivity, and disruptive behavior. Now, a lot of kids have, in fact, true ADD and ADHD, but many of them are overdiagnosed with this condition when, in fact, what they have are psychiatric problems that are caused by problems at home or school that are related to social factors. All too often, we're treating these kids with big drugs. We're using things like the stimulants, Ritalin, Concerta, and Adderall, and we're using antidepressants, a lot of the SSRIs, like Prozac. And even at times, we're using things that are antipsychotics like risperidol, which is an amazing thing to do. There's one person in particular who's been proposing that this is actually a variant of bipolar disease, which gets into the effects that Big Pharma has on this whole condition. The pharmaceutical industry makes a lot of money on the sale of the drugs that are used for ADD and ADHD. And for that reason, they're controlling a lot of how the money is spent as far as education is concerned for physicians and for people who are in practice. Now, there's clear evidence that many people do have this disorder, as proven by functional MRIs and SPECT scans. You can see that when you have areas that are hot or cold in the brain based on these scans, and you give people the treatments that are given, they do get better. But it's a matter of it's a chicken-egg thing. Is it the neurotransmitters you're trying to change around because they're the problem, or is it because there's an actual problem that has to do with psychiatric problems that kids have, as they so often do? So Big Pharma is a culprit here that's making us over-treat an awful lot of the kids. And of course, they've affected the psychiatric profession in a big way too. We now have psychopharmacologists as psychiatrists, not people who are doing psychotherapy, which I think is a big shame. And we need to go back to how we were doing things years ago. And again, it's the effect of Big Pharma on the medical industry and on the medical education of doctors. There's another area that's underappreciated in ADD and ADHD, and that's essential fatty acid metabolism. These are the omega-3 and 6 fats that we must have because we cannot make. And they're very intimately involved with hyperactivity and distractibility and impulsivity. David Horobin years ago did some research on this that showed that particularly in boys who are dyslexic, dyspraxic, and have night blindness, often have ADD and ADHD associated with it. And he found that these kids have defects in being able to process essential fatty acids in a way that they need to in order to prevent the symptoms from occurring. And when he treated people with combinations of various down-chain metabolites of the essential fatty acid family, that he could reverse the disorder. So in many kids, this is a metabolic defect in processing essential fatty acids. And there is a product that you should know about that's called Efalex, E-F-A-L-E-X, that if your child has ADD or ADHD, or you have it, you should look into that because it's certainly something that can be diagnosed with a yes or a no. So we need to look at the various influences that there are when we make this diagnosis. There are many audios and videos on this site that will talk about this and deal with some of the different causes for ADD and ADHD that I think you'll find useful. So with that thought in mind, we'll turn you loose to explore the site and find them so you can find out what treatment will be best for you or your family.